Alex Hoover with 1-0 is also joining us. He is our arts guest this week. Fine arts Western photographer.
Yeah, I like how you explain that.
Okay, well, I stole it from your Instagram, I think.
Yeah, go ahead and throw that out there.
Okay, yeah.
So,
yeah.
Images by Alex Hoover.
I think it's better than the other thing I read on there was like equine photographer, and that just didn't sit right with me.
That's what I do too.
Yeah, I know. But
that's fine.
Okay.
Alex, we're out of time, buddy. That's
okay. It's honestly, it's fine.
We'll, squeeze you next time.
Yeah. I enjoyed listening to these guys.
We're talking.
These ladies are awesome.
Well, we're excited to hear about you next time.
Well, we talked about that already. Out of the trailer, we're good.
I think you got more.
Yeah.
You got more.
No. Okay. My only request is that Michelle talks in her hard Irish accent.
Don't say English. Oh no.
English, yeah.
Oh no.
Sorry.
I already screwed up.
Little faux pas. I know that. Yeah.
My only request is Michelle might pours us some Jameson shots as we're listening to.
I'm trying to eye it up there.
Alex, feel free.
I still have to drive home.
One shot. One shot. Alex, are you convinced? Are you gonna skateboard soon?
Yeah. So no, I'm not gonna do that anytime soon. But honestly, though, like these guys, the ladies' stories is great. I mean, to me, what you're all about is just humans being good to humans is what it's about, and that to me is what is awesome about that whole thing. You know, so it's good to hear. Good, you guys are awesome.
No,
yeah,
thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we've established that. That's good. You do some pretty cool things too. You want to talk about that?
I don't know. He said we were on time, right?
Don't listen to me.
I don't like talking about myself. I'm not even sure why I'm here.
Oh, honestly. Well, because I invited you and you agreed.
Yeah.
And you said, let me shower first. And it was like 3:00 in the afternoon. So I don't know what you're doing with your life. But that seems pretty good life. So
well,
it's because he was up on the mountain. That's why.
Yeah.
He's like, let's see. Oh, it's 3:00. I got to shower first. I'm like, thank you. First of all,
I showered yesterday.
Once a week, right?
Yeah, once a week.
Yeah.
But you are our neighbor here, right on the other side of this trailer, and you have these wonderful photos.
Neighbor.
Yeah, great neighbor, our favorite neighbor, because you're never here.
Exactly.
Austin was great too, but he made a lot of noise when he was here sometimes. So, and he does work with you.
He does do work with me.
Yeah.
Yes.
So explain here's what I want to know. Do you recall the day where you were like, oh man, those horses are gorgeous. I need to go take some photos of them. Like, how did that happen?
Well, so it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of a longer story as far as that goes. I
got all night.
You got,
I don't know about these ladies.
We have all night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alex, keep it short, buddy. Keep it short.
So why isn't Todd here?
I know. I know.
I'm so disappointed that he's not here right now. So I could look him in the eye.
I'm not even turning my screen towards
No, I actually got into photography in a kind of a, I don't know, it was just a weird way. Like my kids back in the day, I used to have an old flip phone that, you know, I mean,
we all did.
Yeah, we all. Me and you were about the same age. You know what I mean? We had all the same technology about the same time, and they fought me. They're like, "Oh, Dad, you'll love a flip phone or a smartphone or whatever." I'm like, I don't need a smartphone. The flip phone's fine. I'm doing great. And they're like, then we went in to get new phones, and the phone company was like, "We don't sell flip phones anymore."
What?
So, yeah. So,
what?
Plot.
No, that was the thing. That was the thing. Yeah, and I'm like, "What? Are you kidding me?" I'm like, "Fine, give me this phone or whatever."
iPhone 1.
It could have been.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, it probably was. Anyway. Yeah, and it had a camera on it, and I actually started playing around with the camera on my phone. Is how my photography career took off.
Okay.
Yeah, I just started like taking pictures while I was out doing stuff, and then I just post them randomly or whatever on social media and different things, and people started getting a lot of reaction from them, and I started having fun, and I'd always tell a story with them or what I was doing or this and that, and pretty soon things just kind of started snowballing, and next thing you know, I get a bigger camera, better camera, more and more into it, getting more feedback, getting way, and then one day I was up at my buddy's ranch up in just east of Ogden and Woodruff, about 50, 60 miles. And I was on the river fishing, and I had my camera with me, and a couple of horses came down to the river and just started drinking out of the river. And I was like, I just took out my camera and just started taking pictures. And
what can we talk about? What camera did you have first?
So I had the Canon 70D is what I had. This is what I started with.
Okay.
Yeah, just a kit lens. And just started taking pictures of the horses, and I got home and downloaded them into Lightroom and started messing around. And,
was there a Lightroom discussion that I missed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you did. You missed it.
Yeah.
So anyway, and I just realized, I was like, holy cow, I love this. Like I've taken, because I fly fish a bunch, I do a lot of other stuff, but like the horse thing, just my background and my everything that I do, it just connected with me, and I just started taking more and more and more. And as far as the wild horses go, it's a funny story too. Like I never thought I never set out to take wild horse pictures. I was always interested. I talked to people that had gone out. I started following people on social media that were wild horse photographers, and same thing. Just started thinking, wow, this is neat. I want to try it. And I went out to the West Desert probably, I don't know, 5 or 10 times and seen maybe 2 or 3 horses the whole time I was out there. No, literally. And I was like, but I just kept going back because I was interested. And finally on one day I went out and I seen a horse. He was walking along the road, and he looked like he was going somewhere. So I just started, I was like,
he's on a mission.
Yeah. And the funny thing was, I actually recognized him from the social media posts from other photographers that I followed. Yeah. And I was like, hey, I know that horse, and I'm like, well, he might be going somewhere.
Famous.
Jim.
Yeah, no, he was. Yeah,
Jim.
yeah, He was the old man. He was a gray horse, but he had been around forever, and he was just like a famous wild horse. Yeah.
Now, for those listening who don't understand, these are wild horses.
Correct.
In the middle of where? Utah?
So they're just west of Tooele.
Okay.
Yeah,
Why are they wild out there?
Well, because nobody owns them.
Good answer, but like, but like, this is the West. In other words, some people don't understand. Like, there are wild horses out here. Still.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Okay. So do you want me to go into that aspect?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Okay. So there are actually. So
I cracked a joke that didn't go over well the other day. I learned my lesson.
With who?
With you.
What did you say? With the feral.
Yeah, the feral
thing.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So
that's another podcast.
I understand.
It
it was not good.
Yeah. That's a whole nother thing that I try and stay completely out of.
Okay.
And that would take hours to cover that.
Okay. But the wild horses in the West.
So the wild horses in the West are, so I'm trying to think where to even start.
I don't know, but we have Dead Horse Point.
Yeah, but there's no wild horses on Dead.
No, they all died.
Yeah, exactly. Great. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so in a short form, the wild horses where I take pictures west of Tooele, they were descendants of, they started probably when the Spanish came to North America.
Okay.
Started conquering.
You said probably. We don't know for sure.
Well, no, it is. I mean, that's when the horses were reintroduced to North America, is when the Spanish
I've
came.
just heard stories that some were here anyway.
No.
Before the Spanish.
No, not
Is that
before
not
the
true?
Spanish. That is not true.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like 1 million years ago, there was a form of the horse that
Like
died
the
off.
unicorn. I understand.
Yeah, the unicorn. Yeah.
Checks out.
Checks out.
Checks out. Yeah.
Okay.
Where's Google? Let's Google that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, there was not horses in North America
Okay.
before the Spanish came across, and then once they came across and started conquering North America and moving north, is how the horses became more of a prominent figure in the West and in America. And then since then, like once Native Americans acquired horses and started gathering, their lives changed. And then the ranchers that came west, the cavalry that came west, the miners that came west, all those horses, as they eventually, here or there, they would get turned loose or get away, and they would become just, I mean, some people say feral, but to me, like, they're ingrained in the American West.
What's the definition difference between feral and like a wild horse?
Well, so some people would consider wild as being native to an area, like, like say, like elk are native to America, buffalo are native to North America, whatever. We all get the point.
Yeah.
No one likes the guy that corrects it.
Nobody does.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So, but what I would say though is I argue that in the sense that like brown trout aren't native to
Right.
North America either, and neither are rainbow
and fishermen
trout.
get
in this
into
area.
these arguments all the time.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And so
Yeah,
it's kind of like, it's one of those things. To me, what those horses represent to me is just our history and part of who we are as Americans in the West and how it was settled. And they deserve a spot in the American West as far as that goes, you know? And I think the horses that I photograph are like great ambassadors for the American West and what has come of it and the history and things like that. And so
Is that why you prefer to take photos of those types of horses, or is it because they're unpredictable, because they're wild?
You know, it's funny because I guess to me, like when I'm out with those horses, I feel that's where I feel like it's not that I belong, because I have a lot of other horse interests too and a lot of background in other areas of the horse world.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, I love it out there. Like, I love being out in the middle of nowhere. I love being alone with those horses. I love like being in the West Desert. I mean, and it's nerdy, and sometimes I even feel like kind of weird to say stuff like, but like it's like so romantic to be out there and enjoy like those spaces and be with those horses, and like they get to just be horses, you know. My day-to-day world. Horses,
I love that so much. No one tells those horses how to live on the daily.
Don't. They don't. But the horses that I work with day to day and the world that I'm in day to day, everybody tells those horses every move they're going to make. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's okay too. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying it's such a release to me to like be able to go out and be with them and not have to worry about. I mean, because I shoe horses as well as do the photography, and like, I don't have to worry about those horses, you know, being good to shoe. I don't have to worry about them being sound. I don't have to worry about anything other than just enjoying their presence, I guess, in a sense. And I guess that's a draw to me, you know. And then when I take the pictures and I get home and I look at them, I'm like, holy cow, you know, like this is awesome, you know.
Yeah.
So,
well, I went to school for photography. Did you go to school for photography, or just your sister?
My sister did.
Okay. I was in school with Jess's sister. We found out apparently. So and I learned a few things in school. It's important, but I mean, now there's YouTube and all the other things. So how did you get good at photographing horses?
Yeah. So everything in my life up to this point, I'd go full head on. Like my wife, it drives my wife crazy. The poor girl, like, has had to deal with me forever. You know what I mean? But like, so once I got into the better cameras, the better gear, I just started getting online, basically, you know, and started. I have like, I don't know, I've got, like, have you ever heard of lynda.com, or like, they're online courses that like specialize in photography or different things, and I just buy them every year, and like I just spend tons of time listening to them. And then I had any photographer that I could get a hold of and pick their brains, I would do that too, and I still do that because I still just want to know. I mean, everybody. You know what I mean? You just like, you can learn from everybody. And so, but mostly it's, I guess, in a way, I hate to say self-taught because I don't think anybody really is, but like, I just get into it. I watch tons of YouTube, tons of, you know, and then I practice a ton. Like, I'm always trying to practice.
Do you have a style, or would you say that you have a look that you like?
I don't know. That's a good question. I've never really thought. I guess to me, it just comes out in what you produce, I guess. You know, I never think of myself, or I never think about like, I want this style. Like, it's not, I just like what feels good to me and what drives me to like, and I'm like, get excited about. That's the style, I guess.
So you produce, I mean, wonderful, beautiful photos. Fine art stuff. When did you start pricing and selling imagery, and how do you see that going in the future?
Yeah. So hopefully great in the future. Yeah. No, I don't know. Honestly, a lot of it comes from social media. Just people request.
You got like 17,000 followers on Instagram. What happened there?
Yeah, I don't know. Are you counting? Honestly, like,
I'm impressed.
I know,
great.
but I don't try to put too much into that. You know what I mean? Like, because I just
do you think it helps?
Those are horse bots.
They're horse bots. That's true. They're horse bots.
The horse bot.
They're everywhere these days. Do they help sell?
I would say 90% of what I sell is almost because.
Are you serious?
I swear to you, because of social media.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
Yeah, no, it is. It's a powerful tool. Like, you know, and I try not to put too much emphasis on it, but really, that's where a lot of those sales come from. And most of the time, it's people that I don't even like. Honestly, they'll just be like, message me on Instagram, hey, can I get this print, or this or that? And
So I followed you, and then other horse, because the algorithm works, right? Other horse accounts come up or whatever. And there was this other guy he has a crap ton of followers. He's also from Ogden, from Plain City or whatever.
Oh, wow.
Which we talked about. Who was that guy?
yeah, Chris Dickinson, I think is who you're
Chris
thinking
Dickinson?
of. Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, it's a whole culture.
Oh.
Like, it's a whole thing.
So to me, like just like these girls in the skiing and the snowboarding thing, the horse culture, the horse world is exactly the same.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
down,
there's drama everywhere. It doesn't matter.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
okay.
And that's what these guys were, when they were talking about that stuff, I was just thinking to myself, like, oh, it's just like
The whole world.
humans are humans, right?
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, like it doesn't matter like where you're from, what you do, like walking into that skate park and being intimidated.
Yeah.
Do you know like how hard it is to like like when I rodeoed and around like people, you'd walk into an arena and like you were so outclassed. Like, so we were talking earlier about like I grew up in Ogden, inner Ogden. I didn't have any horses. I didn't get into any of that till I started hanging around my wife and her family, and they introduced me into all that, and I loved it. Like I've always loved horses. Like horses have always been my thing. Just like you were saying, wanting to be in the mountains. You know,
That's cool.
horses have always been my thing. And so when I got that opportunity, I just took it and ran. But I can tell you, like walking into those situations, like there was kids that would have like, families that have had generational type
I bet,
things,
especially
right?
in that world. I
Yeah,
feel like
exactly.
it's legacies.
And then here's this kid from the city that has like no family. My parents never went to road. They never. I mean, not that they didn't want it. It just wasn't their thing.
Yeah,
I
right,
mean, it's
right.
just,
Well, because every time Michelle gets made fun of because she can't land a trick, she's like, let me show you my 7-iron.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like,
I go by the drivers where it's
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. No, but that's legit though, right?
No,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah,
so-
I think that's definitely very similar. you
Yeah,
know.
and so that's kind of how I got. I don't know. The photography thing has just started to evolve where now it's like it's such a like intense passion in my life that like I can't like it's all I think about. You know what I mean? Like I do other things because I have to, but it's all I think about. You know what I mean? Besides fishing, I love to fish. So everybody knows.
Saw that fishing.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you
Yeah.
could be a pro fisher person
Well, the funny thing is I actually thought I would do a lot more fly fishing photography and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But what happened was every time I would go fishing, I could not put the fly rod down and go fishing
it's a
or to
problem.
take pictures. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So when I'm out with the horses, that's the other thing is like
when you're fishing, you're fishing.
That's right.
Okay.
And then when I'm doing photography, I'm dialed in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Get it.
And so
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. And so that's kind of how my brain works.
Do you have any
know?
tips for anyone who wants to start photographing nature, wild animals
Well,
in
as,
general?
as far as wild,
I love going to Yellowstone. I took all these photos.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
none of them have animals. You'll notice in
Yeah.
them because they're
Well,
hard to capture.
They are hard to capture.
Yeah.
And to me, the one thing that a lot of people don't understand is like how much time I spend out there with horses. Like I'll go out there and not see horses for all day, maybe. You know what I mean? And they might come out, we might cross paths at the very end of the day, and I get half an hour to shoot pictures. You know what I mean? And that's just a chance you take when you go out because they're wild. And they just like, and it's amazing how
You don't pose them.
I try. Remember that?
Yeah.
More Maine.
That was
That made me laugh. I was gonna-
More Maine.
More Maine. Yeah. That was pretty good.
But Alex, I could get that. I understand that. Like we'll chat for about an hour and we'll get about 10 minutes of usable content. So we understand. So this,
Same thing. Same exact
Same
thing. Yes. Yeah. But no, I spend a lot of time out on the desert.
Yeah, I think people don't see that. You
No.
know, like they see the pretty photo.
Yeah.
And, but they don't see the hours that
Yeah,
probably
no,
went into that.
No, there's days I'll spend 12 hours and there's a lot of times like just like with wildlife too, you might find them, but they're not doing anything.
Yeah.
Honestly, like it's like looking at a horse
doing
out
any
in the
cool shit.
No, they're not doing the cool shit. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, so I just sit there.
Wait, what's
you know,
cool shit? When they're rearing up and stuff?
Yeah, or when there's any kind of activity, right? So like anytime they're interacting is
Yeah.
what I really try and capture because that's to me that's the essence of what I'm trying to find is like a story, some kind of a, something that
Excitement.
excitement or something people can catch, I mean, and to me with the horses, like any movements they got, but I do have a lot of horse pictures where they're not doing anything, but maybe they have a good backdrop or maybe they're just neat looking horses that I just dial in on and I'm like, I am going to photograph this horse until I get some pictures that I like, you know what I mean? And that's how a lot of them come about too. You know, I go out there, and if I do happen to find them pretty early in the day, there's just horses that have that look, or things that have that look, that I'm just trying to get the best picture that I possibly can, you know,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. Yeah.
What's your Instagram?
It's Images by Alex Hoover.
And it's 1-0.
Correct.
Images by there's no underscores or anything.
No.
Okay.
No, I got on that early.
Images by Alex Hoover, Hover. Who's an account or a photographer you follow that you've learned the most from, or you take inspiration from?
I didn't even wish you'd asked me that earlier. So
So I didn't send you the pre-notes. Yeah.
Dang it.
We never do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know that I have necessarily one. I follow a lot, actually, because I like, I don't know, a lot of the wild horse photographers, you know,
Wait, time out. There's a lot of wild horse photographers, not just horse, but wild horse.
Tons of wild horse
Okay.
photographers.
So how do you separate yourself from those others?
I don't know. I think I have a little different look. Like, so here's one thing that I would say, and it's not taking anything away from other wild horse.
Cool, because I'm good.
Yeah, no.
So here's the thing.
Here's the
Yeah.
Let's break it down. I actually take good photos.
Oh, I'm gonna try. I'm not.
He's like, step one, take
Yes.
good photos.
Yeah, that's as easy as that is, right?
But it's true. You have to take a good. Your photos are beautiful.
Yeah. So I guess to me, maybe the thing that maybe would separate me from other wild horse photographers in general is I've noticed that a lot of them aren't horse people. They're not like, I mean, I'm like born, or not born, but ever since I was 13 years old, I've been around horses every day of my life. Almost every interaction I have has to do with horses.
Yeah.
And that's not common. Like, horse people aren't generally into wild horses. I think they're curious.
No, but that gives you a
about it,
different
but-
eye than someone who's looking at
I guess
it
that's-
from a different photography. Like if I'm really good at taking photos of landscape or wild animals, I'm going to approach it differently than you. Maybe I'm going to see different stuff than you.
Oh, 100%. Like, I understand like what a good horse photo looks like.
Yeah.
How they stand, what's good, what's wrong, like their postures, their movements, different things like that. I think that maybe helps me a little bit too.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Well, I would think someone who understands horses would gravitate more to your work than maybe someone else's.
Yeah.
Do you find that?
That's for another podcast.
Wow.
We talked about.
The next one.
Okay.
Yes, that's for the.
Do you guys have questions for Alex?
Yeah, I have one. I'm curious to know like how you found like the confidence to decide one day like, hey, I want to get a studio space. Like when did that click with you, and when did you say, okay, this is actually a thing and I feel confident about my work and I'm going to make that leap?
You know, and I would go back to as far as everything that I've done in my life. I don't know that I've ever. It's not that I've just always known what I've wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I guess for some reason, like, and I think my past, like, I've been embarrassed a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I've failed a lot. I've gotten beat down a lot. But you just get back up and keep going, right? And so, to me, as far as confidence goes, it's just like the next step. I guess for me, it wasn't even like a confidence, like my work is great. It's nothing like that. It's just like, okay, if this is what, because, I mean, back to like taking pictures, like this is the rest of my life. This is what I'm gonna do, and I don't have anything else, so I have to make money with this. I have to make it a career of some sort and make it produce for myself. And so to me, it was just like the next step. Okay, where do we go from here? Now and I needed a place to display all the artwork and stuff like that, you know. And to me, it's like it's not so much confidence, it's just like the next step. Like
It just made sense.
it just made sense,
Yeah.
and like, you know, like I guess not being afraid of being embarrassed and somebody coming and looking at your work and being like, oh, it sucks, but who gives a shit, man?
Right.
I mean, like, at the end of the day, like who cares? I mean, like, everybody's so different. Everybody has
Right.
such different.
Wait, has somebody told you that?
what?
Has
What
someone
part?
been pretty critical of your work
I don't know, to my face, but I'm sure that
on
they do.
Instagram?
Oh, I've had people on Instagram, but not. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I
that's
it's different.
cheating because it's separated from you face to face. But
Yeah, I wouldn't say face to face, but I mean, I'm sure that it happens. You know what I mean? Like, it's just part of life. Like,
Things don't
like,
appeal to everybody.
Yeah, it doesn't appeal to everybody, and that's okay too. And I'll give you an example, like, as far as like the horse world goes, like, because the world that I'm from, again, like, wild horses aren't so much a part of the world that I'm from. They kind of almost look down on them in a way because they're not the best bred horses. They're not, the highest, fanciest looking horses and stuff like that. And so, I know that there's people out there that are like, oh, who gives a shit, about that kind of stuff or whatever. But to me, it interests me. It's like I feel like I belong in that.
Well,
like,
that means something.
What?
That it interests you. And
Well,
that's
yeah,
all that
sure.
should matter.
Well, sure, but I mean, I'm also okay. Let me give you a great. I'm just trying to think
Break
of an
it down.
example. Let me
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it'd be like, so you guys like getting into the snowboarding and the skiing and stuff like that, and then like the level of like skater that comes in and kicks you out of the park or whatever is like, and then you just like, I don't know, what do you? It just kind of makes you feel less than because you're not the greatest, whatever, it's the same thing. Like the horses, they just like, they're not, I mean, I think some people do, but some people don't, you know what I mean? And so maybe I fight that in my own head in a lot of ways,
Yeah.
but I don't know. This is like,
Well, we're all insecure at some.
yeah, exactly. We all have insecurities. Yeah. And as far as like, I don't know. I just think that like if people want to do something, they should just do it. And like,
You got to stick to what you love.
yeah. And then who
And that
cares?
translates the
Yeah.
best. It's like, I can see your passion, like through your photos and through your voice. And, you can, I'm sure, hear our passion too. It's
Sure.
like that,
Sure.
that comes across, and it won't resonate with everyone, but the people that it does resonate with, that's when it's
That's all
special.
you're looking for, right?
Absolutely.
It's all that matters at the end of the
It
day.
does, and I truly, truly believe that because I'm like I've just been around enough to know that like you're not going to impress everybody, and I don't care who you are. And I actually plug my Instagram. I had a story about this
Please
the other
do.
day because that's what I was saying. Like I've literally never heard of what's her name? Oh crap! I just freaking.
Who is it? A famous
We
person.
talked about this the
We
other
did?
day. What's her name?
I don't know.
The big superstar lady.
Beyonce.
Not Beyonce.
Good guess. Lots of Grammys. Lots of Grammys.
She was at the Grammys.
Oh,
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift. God, I don't know why that lost. But anyway, I've never heard a Taylor Swift song. And she's gigantic, but I've never heard of her.
Right.
So what difference does it make,
Right.
right? You know what I mean? Everybody's just got to find their people like you guys are trying to
Right.
find. And I feel like that's the important thing. And being good humans. Like being good human is way more important to me than any of this other stuff.
I think
You
that's
know?
I think that's something that we've learned in the last few years. It's
Yeah.
just kind of you got to stick to your lane and do what makes you happy. And I think as long as you're doing that, usually it translates and affects other people in good ways. So.
Yeah, whether you know it or not.
Right. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And
Alex, though, one thing, we do have to find your one Taylor Swift song.
Okay.
I'm not sure what that is. Gonna be
The only
yet.
Taylor.
I'll
This
find
is
yours.
my wife and my kids, because I told them this the other day. They're like, "Oh, you've heard Taylor Swift songs." I'm like, "Well, I didn't know if it was a Taylor Swift song."
No, I want to find one that like you connect with.
Oh, that I
Like, it's-
connect.
Yeah,
with.
that speaks to you.
That speaks to me. That
We'll
make
just
me
start sending you
There
one
is-
a day.
like one that that would like make me want to go to one of her concerts.
Yeah.
Is that what it
Or
is?
No,
Just
maybe
like,
not, but I'll bet you'll find one that you connect with.
that you just
She
like, you get in the
surprises us all.
car, you throw it on, you bop your head a little
Hey,
bit.
we all have like.
I have a Taylor Swift story.
Oh, well, go ahead. I want to hear it.
Hear
Did you? I was watching the Country Music Awards, and she had a song that mentioned Tim McGraw. It was one of her first breakout
It's
songs.
the only song I've heard.
So you have.
I have
You
heard that one song.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
But guess so.
Closet
she-
Taylor Swift fan. over here.
Closet.
No, I do have some closet. I'm a closet. Like my music is everywhere. But yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So during that awards ceremony, she's on stage singing this song, and she walks down the stairs, goes into the audience, walks over to Tim McGraw, face sitting right next to Tim, and she puts her hand out and to shake Tim's hand, and she says, "Hi, I'm Taylor," and I lost it.
Oh.
Because the world shifted. Like she just took over country music. It went from Tim McGraw
When
to
was
her-
that?
to her.
Because I think I might have heard.
probably 10 plus years ago.
It was
It's
long-
been a
like,
while.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But I'm like, I said to my wife, I'm like, dude, this was huge. This was huge. And it was as simple as like a handshake to the man. and she just took over. It was
Wow.
wild.
Yeah, it is.
If you can go back and watch it on YouTube,
Probably won't.
probably won't, but it's awesome.
We'll send you the link.
Yeah, we'll send you
Okay,
the
send me
link.
the link.
We're gonna
Send
spam
me
your
the link.
Instagram now.
Todd, you got anything else for Alex?
I actually, I have some curiosities.
Oh, good.
I'm so.
Your mic is now in your face. So
Oh,
if you,
okay.
Yeah, scooch
I'll-
it down. There you go.
I'll have
Yeah.
some better posture here, but I'm so fascinated by the horses themselves. And we were talking about it a little bit before this podcast, but I really love that you say that it's romantic, and I'm such a feeler, I'm a crier, but like I love the energy that I'm sure that they bring. And if anyone has seen your photos, and for the audience listening, Alex's photos have such bold energy. These animals and these creatures are just vibrant. And so I'm just curious about more about like your experience about being around these animals, and also how many of them are there? Like what's it like out there?
Yeah. So that's the unique thing about the herd that I do go to. The Onaki, they're the Onaki is what they're called. They have the BLM has established like 177 herd management areas across the West between Wyoming, Utah, Colorado, Nevada, Oregon, and a few. Like there's one that splits Wyoming and Montana, and a few that split Oregon and California. And I guess there's a few others in Southern California and whatnot. But anyway, this unique herd is they travel together. So there's more or less most of the time when you go out there, probably 100 to 150 horses in one big herd. And so it's unique in that regard that like you get to watch those herd dynamics just unfold in front of you. And that is the amazing part to me. The like horses just like doing horse things. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
no, they do. It's intense. It's an intense thing. Like horses are crazy. Like they fight constantly. The studs do. You know what I mean? The stallions, and they protect their mares. They fight off other stallions. There's bachelor stallions constantly challenging the older stallions for their mares and places in the herd and different things and like that. And that is the most fascinating thing to me in the world to watch. You know, watch it all unfold in front of you. And those are what make some of the great photographs that I've got.
Totally.
You
It's
know?
like being able to go to the African safari and actually see these amazing creatures in real life, but it's kind of in our backyard.
Yeah, it is in our backyard. And it's like, I don't know, being a horse person to me, like I said, like on a daily basis, I watch horses just do what humans want them to do. Every step of their day is dictated by a human. But when you go out with them, those horses do what horses do naturally, and it's really just like it's relaxing to me to just watch them do what they do, you know. And I think it's fascinating to watch nature do what it does, you know. And like every time I go out, I see something different. I see something new. I see the horse reacts a different way, or like a couple times that I've been out there, I've got pictures of horses that just like have chunks of their neck just hanging off of them.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, I can show you guys.
They're wild.
Yeah, no.
That's so gnarly.
But they're so violent towards each other, but that they know no different. Like it's nothing that and that's the other thing. And this is the corniest thing as far as when it comes to like I think humans, I don't know, there's like horses are just like a tough creature that like to exemplify what being tough is all about, you know what I mean? And then the other thing is too is like I don't see like with animals, especially wild horses, they don't have grudges. They don't hold, you know, they're not like if they get beat up one day, they're like, oh, I'm gonna get back at that guy. It's just a matter of like, okay, I gotta come back tougher or something, you know what I mean? And like just that nature, that raw, I don't know, you know, I love it because I feel like that. I mean, that's just the way I look at life, you know. It's like I've had to fight for everything I've ever had, and so do they, you know. And so I feel like I'm just like maybe a little more relatable to that scenario than I am
Part
with
of
like
nature.
Yeah, and I don't like you were talking earlier, no drama, like there's horse drama, but I don't feel like it's the same. Like when things are over, it's over.
Right. Yeah.
And you just move on to the next thing. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, I wish we were all like that.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like that's maybe
Like in
that's
the moment, and then it's done.
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like honestly,
Drama sucks.
It does suck, and I don't do good with it, and I've never have. Like I've never like it never. I I shy away from it. I don't like it.
I have a feeling Michelle doesn't like it either.
I'm like literally this, like you're saying everything that
Yeah. You know,
I'm really bad at it, and
I am
like you said, I shy away from it. I'm just
Yeah.
like not good at it.
I am not either, and maybe that's part of the problem. I'm
That's a
not good
great
at
thing.
it. You know what I mean? But that's the truth, though. Like, I go out there with them, and I just get to see the and this is going to be the corniest thing you've heard all night. But
I like that you're upping the corny level.
yeah,
love
as
it.
it
I love
goes, yeah. But I would be a wild horse, hands down, in any
love
second.
it.
You know what I mean? Like, honestly, like
Yeah.
the lives that they live is like I could live that way.
Yeah.
Just like I would fight for whatever. I would like they live in like minus 20-degree temperatures to all the way to 110. The feed isn't always good. They have to travel a lot. This is like everything about it. The hardiness of what they represent to me is like the greatest human experience you could have, because it's awesome. Like, I don't know, people that have to
love it.
struggle, I guess I find more interesting the people that don't.
Yeah.
Right.
The people,
Absolutely.
you know what I mean? The people that like actually push themselves, the people that actually suffer, that can handle
through some shit.
sacrifice. Yeah. That is more respectable to me than people that don't, I guess. And that's what draws me to it.
Well, I have to say that I think a lot of that emotion comes through in your photos, and I just feel like you can see your passion through your photos, and so I wanted to ask a little bit
Oh,
more
no, you're
about
good.
that.
You're good. So my website is imagesbyalexhoover.com.
Images by Alex Hoover. Images by AlexHoover.com.
Yeah.
Order all the
Sorry.
things.
Yeah,
our old next door neighbor Austin does print some
He
of
does
your
do
images,
prints. He
which
did.
is nice
He did.
on metal. And then they're not all on metal, but some of them are.
But I love metal, and I think I've been getting a lot of feedback about the metal prints. I think a lot of people really like the metal.
Yeah.
So I could really see kind of going down those roads with the metal print.
Beautiful prints.
Yeah.
And is there a price range you want to give out?
As far as
How much you got?
How much you got? What's listed over there?
I go from so I have a printer at my house that I actually will print people just off my own little printer that's like a 13 by 19 is like $65-$70.
Oh, okay.
And then all the way to like the big.
So you could own your own Hoover.
You can,
Yeah,
if you
okay.
can, if that's your thing. I try, and that's the other thing is like I have a hard time. This would be a great another podcast too. Back to what we were talking
Yeah,
about.
we'll invite you
This
back.
is a
Yeah.
10-part.
Yeah, no,
It's a 10-part episode. Yeah,
the
we're
whole,
already long. Might as well. But yeah,
the whole art world to me is fascinating in itself. You know what I mean?
Todd's in it.
Art-
That's what he does,
yeah,
man.
Yeah. As far as like, some people like how they become superstar artists, photographers, whatever it is that they do, how they become like that, and I would feel bad in a way just because I'm not a rich person. I don't come from that background. I don't know anything about that background to get to that point where somebody that was like me couldn't afford one of my pictures. I guess I would feel bad about that
Yeah.
in a way. And,
Yeah.
and that's probably
That's why
a
they
negative
make
thing.
bookmarks. Like Mangelsson, I walked into his studio once.
Yeah, in Jackson or in
I left with a
Clarkson.
bookmark.
A bookmark.
Or a puzzle.
A puzzle.
puzzle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think even like the cheapest Mangelsson book is like still $200 or $300
Yeah,
or something. You know,
stupid.
I mean, and again, that's another podcast.
Part 11.
Yeah, part 11. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Alex, you're an amazing person. Oh, that's fantastic. You're so beautiful on the inside. Who knew? Because you're so crusty on the exterior.
I know. Can we edit this in any way
The gals brought
possible?
it out.
No, we got it all. Todd, you got any questions for Alex?
Too late. No, I don't. I am going to send you a link, though. You made me think about a photographer that spent 4 years going out at night trying to capture this underwater shot of a beaver at a dam. And it kind of takes you through the story of basically what he was going for. But it's that level of patience
Yes.
that
Yes.
this photographer had. 4 years basically repeating, the same scenario, just waiting for this shot. I'm like,
Yes.
oh my gosh.
Yes.
But then it was just everything for him. Like he got it. Like he got the shot.
And to me, that's the art of photography, right?
It really is.
It really is. I mean, to me, the patience, the work you put into it, the time you put into it, like as far as art goes and the difference between a photographer and an artist that actually paints or whatever, you know, there's kind of a stigma there as far as is photography art, like a painter paints.
Sure. Yeah.
But to me, that's what the photographer brings to the art world, is the work he puts into it, or she. Sorry, ladies.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? But like that's what makes photography art. Is what Todd is talking about right there. In my opinion.
Why are there more male photographers than female?
There's more males doing everything than females. I just feel like that's just.
I feel like for me personally, it's a confidence thing. That's why my question was geared to you.
Yeah, because a lot of the female
level,
art photographers tend to plant themselves on the wedding side.
True, and portrait.
Yeah, portrait.
Stuff.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Maybe because women are typically people persons, and they do better at that
I
stuff.
think confidence is a good call out. I think that's really bred into a young age, but also like motherhood.
That's what I was
in
going to say
general.
too.
Like
Yep.
mothers create creators. Mothers like
What?
What?
Man, mark that one.
Yeah.
No,
So,
it's
I
true
think
though.
that-
But women really do. I mean, I've seen it a million times. You know, women once they get pregnant and start having families, they just change. Their
Absolutely.
mindsets change.
Their creative project is that baby, and fathers too, of course. But
yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean,
I think it's changing, which is cool. There's like this female snowboarder. Her name's Maria Thompson, but she had a baby early on, and she only became a pro, I think, at like 28 or 29. So super
That's an old
late,
pro. Yeah.
but had the baby early on and still was filming when like after she had the baby, would bring the baby to the spot, like because they would go hit street spots. And I think like she was just on another podcast, which is really cool to hear, because just people like that and role models like that, I think
100%.
for women, just for me especially, because I'm like, I want to keep doing
100%.
sick stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I want to have it all, and it's really cool to see people like that having it all. Like you can still do it all, you still like do your interests, and you don't have to like.
You can, but I will say this too: if things change in your life and your kids become your main thing, that's
Right.
okay too.
Absolutely.
You know, it really is. Like, I mean, I see it all the time in everything. You know, like whatever you choose to do is okay.
Absolutely.
As
Each
far
to
as-
their own, and
yeah.
it's cool to see.
Yeah.